really analyzing your true level of happiness and self-worth. And, is it Doritos and drinks and junk food and lifestyle choices that are making you happy? And I would argue deep down, you're not.
Right.
And that's the hard truth that I'm really that I want to bring out is like, I'm not judging you for being fat. I'm not judging you, period, for being overweight or a size 22. It's observation and discernment that there are some things being suppressed and you may not even know about it.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Remember You. This one we're going to talk about size. Does it matter? And I'm not talking about like your height. I'm talking about most of us women love to be in a size 0, extra, extra small. Does it matter?
My mind went different places when you said that.
I know.
Size doesn't matter. But, all right.
Okay.
All right. So
Or does the size matter, women out there? I don't know.
That'd actually be an interesting topic too. All right. So
So does size matter? What size I'm at? And, my
size 2 or size 22 is what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
so there's
Not the size of a penis.
the past like 5-10 years, it's been
Maybe size of a penis doesn't matter.
Go on.
this is a size episode.
Discuss all sizes. But
Yeah.
no, okay.
Yeah.
Can you manifest what size your penis is? Like if you think it, will it become?
I mean,
That's interesting. Do you think?
so I heard about like a massage technique that is supposed to like add 2 inches. So
And then if you're thinking that you have 2 extra inches, it will come.
you got to take action, right? So then there's surgery and there's growth surgery and there's all sorts of, there's
I didn't know that.
all sorts of stuff out there that, think about how much of a pain point that is for guys.
But is it even necessary? Probably not.
No, because as a woman, does it really matter?
It doesn't. But they may see that's Hollywood or whatever that wants to make it an issue.
Or a
To make it
porn
an
show.
issue in our minds when it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
to an extent.
And I think like the fit, as long as the fit's perfect, it doesn't matter, right?
that's
It's hitting the right spot.
some people. Yeah, that's really the main thing. That really is the main thing is like know how to use your tool,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
All right, so we went in a completely different direction.
I know. So
As we were talking,
to wait.
we're not hypersexual at all. What? No,
Yeah, not these two.
not at all. Just get lost in the topic here.
Okay.
So size 2, size 22 when it comes to a woman. And I'll just say this, that inflammation is obesity and weight gain is due to inflammation. It's due to stress. It's due to mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical stress.
Wow.
It's not just one thing. It's all forms of stress. If you're not following your spirit and your calling, you're going to be stressed out. If you're not listening to that voice inside, you're going to be stressed out. If you're eating junk food, if you're having junk sex, if you're having junk information in your life, junk energy and junk people, it's going to inflame you and bog you down and slow you down. So you're not going to move as much. And as a result of that, you're going to eat more junk food, and maybe you're not eating at all and your metabolism's slowing down and you're not doing the right things and you gain weight. There's a multitude of things. It's all inflammation and stress.
Yeah, and that's something that was interesting when I was working with you. And I told you I wanted to work on my thighs and my arms, right? Slim them down. And when you told me one time, we were talking about, I guess, weight or whatever, in my thighs, you said that's inflammation. And I had no idea that looking at my thighs, you just think it's weight. You don't think inflammation. I'm like, okay, so my body is inflamed and that's causing the weight that's in my thighs or wherever. And I thought that was the most interesting thing I ever heard because I never thought of that.
So inflammation is the loss of energy. That's what's going on. You're losing energy to your environment. And we can all relate to that with business, with relationships, with anything that's out of alignment with you. You are losing energy. And why would you want to lose any energy? You want to retain it. You want to hold it. And the best analogy I can give for all you weirdos out there, like me, what happens to a star when it dies?
Does it fall down?
No.
What's the process?
It's like becomes a dwarf,
No, it becomes a red giant.
a red giant. Yeah,
It
that's right.
expands.
Yeah,
because it's
right.
losing energy.
Yeah,
So the brightest stars in the system are the dwarfs.
that's right.
They're condensed.
Okay.
They're really, really bright, but really small compared to the red giants. So they're losing energy. They're losing their light, their hue, their energy.
Oh,
So what happens? So what happens to humans when we lose energy? We get fat, we get obese, we get inflamed.
And no one's thinking.
And then
that.
as we die, like a lot of women get smaller because now they're totally like they were really big, they like were really inflamed, then they get some kind of like medical diagnosis or whatever, and they lose a bunch of weight because they're dying.
Yeah, it's you're losing energy, and then that energy starts to kind of dissipate. Is the way I interpret what you're talking about, where it's like, okay, why do you get smaller and die?
Yeah.
Well, it's
you don't eat as much.
You're getting frail, you're getting weak, and then it's like look at a leaf on a tree. When it starts to fall, it gets frail and thinned and dehydrated.
Yeah.
Right? You're getting dehydrated is another way to put that too, right?
But if we go back to inflammation, a lot of people that are inflamed are not realizing why they're tired.
Yeah.
And so why we're all drinking coffee constantly, we're not realizing there's inflammation all over our body causing us to be tired. And if we just stop listening to Hollywood and what they're pushing of it's okay to be this weight or that weight and don't care and eat whatever you want and go have fun and drink alcohol constantly, because that's what's pushed. If we stop doing that, we would get rid of the inflammation. Because doesn't alcohol cause inflammation? Because I think it was to me.
It does.
When you look back at your life with drinking, is there any point in time where you're like, man, that was the best time of my life?
Absolutely not.
Right?
And you look at pictures and your face is puffy.
And it's like,
well, I didn't notice it in my 20s.
No, it absolutely didn't.
It's true. Drinking Long Island iced teas and you're having fun and whatever. I wasn't paying attention to how I looked. It wasn't until I was in my 30s, 40s, I started seeing the puffiness and the tiredness. And I'm like, I don't have time to take a nap just because I had a drink or get hot or get puffy everywhere. I'm like, I don't want to look like that. And it doesn't even feel good. So yeah, later on.
That's what I mean. Like there was a time where I couldn't imagine not having a drink on a weekend.
Right.
Like, there was a point in time where I could not imagine going out, hitting the bar, hitting the club, or doing whatever.
That's true.
That was my outlet. That was my thing. And it was because I had no other outlets, or that was the thing that my environment, my people around me were doing. And that's what we were raised to do in a sense.
Yeah.
And yes, music industry and movies and shows are all portraying that. So it's this propaganda and this programming that is causing you to go get cheap thrills. And alcohol is probably one of the most destructive things out there. I mean, it's associated with all types of cancers. And when you want to get to the energetic spiritual level of cancer, where you're causing anger, or suppressed anger is causing disease.
No one's thinking of that because they're drinking their wine.
And they're numbing themselves because they're angry, pissed off.
With their cancer.
And one of the modalities that I recently tried, the leader of the group, she said, be careful what you do with alcohol when you reintroduce it into your life, because alcohol, there's spirits that want you to drink alcohol, and they literally take over your being and they mess with your mind.
Yep.
And that's why it's called spirits. And people are not picking that up. They're just thinking, oh, I just have fun when I drink it. But some people's personalities change and shift, and they don't act so nice. And so to deal with that kind of spirit is not a good thing for anyone. It's like a trauma.
Yeah, it's numbing whatever you're not dealing with. So the 22 decides to like what my thought is on body fat and weight and all those things. It's not so much the weight. It's more about what the weight consists of. And then, you know, to have this non-judgmental approach to it where it's right or wrong, nothing's wrong, but I'm going to make a choice and say that I prefer to be lean, and I prefer, and I look at from an attractive standpoint, not just physically, but energetically, spiritually, and just lifestyle choices. I prefer to be around people who are making better choices for themselves And it's not that I wouldn't hang out with somebody, I'm not saying that, who's overweight or judging them for that. It's just understanding that we all have our things that we're dealing with. And it's, you know, whatever size that you're at, really analyzing your true level of happiness and self-worth. And, you know, is it Doritos and drinks and junk food and lifestyle choices that are making you happy? And I would argue deep down, you're not.
Right.
And that's the hard truth that I'm really that I want to bring out is like, I'm not judging you for being fat. I'm not judging you, period, for being overweight or a size 22. It's observation and discernment that there are some things being suppressed and you may not even know about it.
Well, and I think it's opening up your mind to say, okay, yeah, I am a size 22 and I don't feel good. So let me go down this path of trying to understand what I can do to change that. It's like any behavior, right? Any belief. And so it's like, I think when we first started the episodes, we were talking about my cookie that I love to have at 3. I don't crave that cookie anymore. And that is because of you and helping me understand how my hormones, sometimes I do. I can't say it's like every day I don't, but there's most of the days I am not craving that cookie anymore.
Right.
And it's because I went down this path of understanding, like, what is it in my body that needs to get healthy? What's causing the inflammation? You started asking me all these questions and I was like, I don't know that. Why do I need to have 3 cups of coffee in the morning? Why am I picking my phone up right in the middle of the night or in the first thing in the morning? These small adjustments that I've made, and I'm still on my health journey. I know that my body still has a lot of inflammation and stuff that needs to go down. As you start asking these questions, though, you start making healthier choices because you're like, I do feel better by implementing, sunshine first thing in the morning, not picking my phone up, using the glasses to get out the different rays of lights. There's so many small things that you taught me that started to take my inflammation down. And I'd be happy to share, like, as I go through this, I have a lot more tests that I ended up doing. And I've figured out like why I have low energy, and there's tests out there now that you can get, not the normal tests from a doctor. So I'll give the listeners an example. One was the MRT test, which Justin does if anybody's interested. And that's all about food and what inflames you. And so I had no idea. I cut out oats because I'm oat and watermelon. I was a watermelon freak. Like
these are energies, like they pull energy away from you as opposed to giving you energy.
Yeah. And so I didn't know, but I was inflaming my body eating watermelon, which was like an 18 on the red line. Like I had no idea. Or whey protein. No clue. I was like a 7 on it, total red. Anyways, I cut those things out. I added the amino acids. It's making me not so tired in the morning. I don't have to have as much coffee. All these things have helped me. But then I went even a step further and said, okay, so now I still don't feel that good. And I realized that, on a normal blood test, your iron levels are I don't know that I'm not a doctor, so whatever. My iron levels look normal if you look at it from a doctor, an MD perspective. I actually have really low ferritin, and it is because I have probably from all the alcohol in my life, a very low vitamin B, like a vitamin B deficiency, but specifically in folate. And folate is how you absorb iron. And if I didn't go down this track, I have other things going on too. But that's like the number one biggest thing to fix. And then as you start to fix those things, then they pile on. I mean, I'll leave it at this, and then I can share the rest of what I'm going through with the listeners at a different time. But this is your area, so
I don't think people know or understand that, because I didn't understand it, is foods cause inflammation, even the foods that you think are healthy and the foods that are pushed on us, like soy and all these other things. So there's that aspect of there's a lot of foods that are unhealthy for us, but we don't even know that information. And because when he gives us the protocol of what to eat, you kind of open your mind to, wow, I shouldn't even be eating a potato, right?
Yeah.
But then when you do the MRT test, then it tells you what your own body is actually is what foods are causing the inflammation, right? So then you get to see there's a lot of foods that I am eating thinking I am being healthy, salmon, all whatever. I'm eating thinking this is healthy and it's not for me, right? So then I learned I should be eating bok choy because that's the vegetable that's going to cause the least amount of inflammation in my body. So besides the protocol he gives for food and supplements, like I had the same thing as you with the iron, like I had so much energy after that, right? So you're taking these supplements, and as soon as I stopped, I feel the lack of energy. So you can't even get off it because the food that you're eating is not even
it's not sustaining
the
you
that you need.
Well, and that's the whole, I mean,
very messed up.
That's the whole problem with our society right now.
What you think you're getting nutritionally is a snippet of what you're actually getting. Like an apple from the 70s, it would take, I don't know what the number is, 50 or 100. It's something astronomical. It's like 50 or more apples today to equate to the micronutrient levels back of an apple back in the 70s. The nutritional facts that you look at for your vegetables and your produce and all your stuff, it's outdated. It's all from the 60s and 70s. They haven't updated it. And
they show images of people in the 70s. They were slim.
Yes.
Great point. Great point.
And images of today, and we're eating the same healthy food, but we're not getting the nutritional value that we need. And so when I say
our food is inflaming us,
right?
Because it's like everything had. I went chemicals because we're spraying everything with chemicals.
Right. Yeah.
Our water. I just had a water guy out because a friend of mine was like, "Okay, you got to check your water because it's like that's the next worst thing. That's what's going into your skin and all this stuff." And he showed me like all the water and all the chemicals that are in our water and how we think we're being protected because there's certain levels that are like good for you or acceptable for our water, but it really isn't. We shouldn't be ingesting all this fluoride and all this chlorine. And the government's doing the best they can, but they don't have unlimited funds to put reverse osmosis systems in all of our water treatment plants. So they're cutting corners and putting chemicals in. And who's regulating this? Nobody.
There's not enough awareness or pressure.
Right. There's not enough pressure because other countries have these regulations in place and they're fine. So why can't the U.S. do it, you wonder? Or why don't they want
to choose not to? And it's like the FDA is so backed up. It's like something that comes on the shelf now won't be reviewed until 5-10 years later down the line.
And the other thing goes back to where are we putting our energy and our effort? And so the United States, we're supposedly this free country, but our noses are in our phones all the time. Our energy is being put to other things instead of we're like coming together as a community to change the way that we eat, to change the way that we farm, and stop ingesting so much junk and start looking at our health.
So the size 22 to size 2, this is what I want to emphasize, is your body is the temple. Your body is the temple of Christ. Your body is the temple of God. Your body is your vehicle.
So what are we putting in it?
And why is it not the priority? Why is it not coming together as a community and feed each other and take care of each other and allow us to have the space and facilities and expertise and guidance to be able to do the things that we should be doing? And why are we not prioritizing it for our children in school? And it's getting, and it's all by design to some aspect. Right. It's making the society weaker. It's making people sicker, and they're becoming more dependent on pharmaceuticals and
hospitals
and all these things. So there's certainly a control mechanism, and beyond that, we need to take control for ourselves.
Well,
we need to stop outsourcing all of these things.
Yeah, and it goes back to we talked about. Like I'm just going to keep saying this because I believe it. It's like, why are we not getting our hands into the earth and working with our hands more instead of?
I think this point needs to be emphasized is my husband used to, like when he would eat cereal or pasta, I would say, what's the nutritional value of that? But we can't even say that with any food anymore if we think about it. And that's what people need to get in their heads. We just said that we can eat a steak, we can eat, I don't know, a vegetable or an apple and still not get the nutritional value as we did or as our parents did in the 70s. So it's like, that's a problem. And so we have to realize that's a problem. Why do we want to live where we can't even eat our vegetables and fruits and steak and know we're going to get the nutritional value we need without taking a supplement?
So this is like our environment. Just to give you an example of like a deficiency that's very common is omega-3s, right? So people aren't getting enough omega-3 fatty acids from their food naturally. You got to supplement with it. And then in addition to that, blue light actually drains omega-3 reserves. That the most concentrated amount of DHA fish or omega-3s is in the optical nerve. Like there's a section right there. It's most, and so when you're ingesting blue light or exposed to blue light, you are burning through those reserves at a faster rate than anything else. And so now you have a deficiency of this DHA, which is protecting coding for your brain. And now you're causing brain inflammation, which then you're causing systemic inflammation. And
the DHAE is what testosterone's made of, which is
DHA is different than the DHEA.
Oh, okay.
So DHA fish oil or DHA omega-3 is there's EPA and DHA.
Okay.
DHA, think of it for your brain.
Okay.
EPA, think of it for your body.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So the DHA and now you're affecting testosterone because your brain and nervous system is stressed out because it doesn't have the DHA to be able to protect and utilize and coat the nerve cells for allowing conduction. And if you're shorting out and you're not, and you got brain inflammation, you're going to have systemic inflammation. You're not going to think right. You're not going to remember. You got brain fog, you got anxiety, you got neurotransmitters all imbalanced. And then your experience is, I don't know why I can't fix myself. I've tried everything. And then you're lost.
Yeah.
And it's due to these nutrient deficiencies like ferritin and folate that you're experiencing. These things are at the root source to systemic inflammation is you just don't have the right resources. You don't have the right amount of these nutrients. And every experience that you have has a chemical equivalent to it. And every chemical that we have in our body has a nutrient that makes up that chemical. So you can't experience anything without a chemical. And if you're short on a chemical, it's because you're short on a nutrient. And we all have these behaviors and tendencies and ways of being, right? And so if you're doing this day in and day out, and I burn through dopamine at a faster rate than you do, then I'm going to burn through those nutrients and those amino acids that create dopamine.
Yep.
And my body is going to steal from other sources to be able to produce the dopamine, which then is going to cause a breakdown and issues.
Yeah, so nutritional deficiencies can cause maybe anxiety or other illnesses.
Certainly is. So yeah, it's like, that everything affects everything. So when you correct one deficiency, everything improves. And you're experiencing that through the food intolerance. And then when you start to take the right supplements in the right amounts at the right times, it starts to sync up and heal the body.
Yeah.
And eventually you might not need that anymore. But we're in a society, if you're in Western civilization, I think supplements are absolutely necessary unless you're living on a farm, out in the sun, eating from the land, day in and day out.
Putting your hands in the...
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
living that life.
I mean, even like having your hand, what I was reading is like even having, and you will be able to tell us if this is right, but like even having your hands in the dirt give you the nutrients from the dirt that you
absorbing.
need.
There's probiotics.
And we don't do that anymore.
It's all so connected. It's all so connected, and I can't go in the intricacies of that, but it's like one thing affects everything, and you're absorbing electrons. If you want to get it down to the quantum level of this, like good food that helps to feed and fill you with energy, you're collecting electrons from that food. When you're grounding, you're collecting electrons. It's when we lose energy, we start to lose those electrons. So the body's a battery.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say we, because our body is not us. It's a vehicle. It's
like our car.
It is.
I mean, the more I think about it, it's the metaphor that I could use is your body is your car, and how well do you take care of your car? Do you throw a bunch of junk in it and don't care if it only lasts a year, or do you take miraculous care of it and you have it last for 20 years? And I believe that as humans, our bodies, these vehicles, we were made to last a lot longer than we currently do. And because of our need for money and greed, we have severely reduced our vehicles' lifespans.
There's any addiction really comes down to this trying to fill the void, right? You're missing something and you're getting a temporary hit from whether it's food addiction or it's alcohol, work, sex, or entertainment, screen time, right? Any of those are just numbing agents to make you feel good in the moment and then long-term have a hangover or side effect from it, right? So you eat junk food, it's going to make you feel good in the moment, but then you're going to regret it later on. And the more aware you become of it, the more polarizing it gets. And now
like when you're in the bathroom and running to the bathroom thinking, why did I eat that?
Exactly. And it's the mid-afternoon crashes that occur from that. Or
I think we need to specifically talk about those foods that cause those mid-afternoon crashes and the high levels of sugar and carb content in foods that are not helpful to anyone. And that's what we're eating.
But wait, hold on. Before you go into that, I do know like there's certain, like everybody's really different. That's why it's really important to have these tests. And I believe that there needs to be more people out there advocating to have these tests so you actually know what is wrong with your, not wrong, but body. How to diagnose your body's like car issues, the mechanics of it, right?
Like breaking that down, like the tests that I go into is the food intolerance. It's like what you put in your mouth, figure that out. Then to get like a better understanding of how the micronutrients are affecting you or why they're deficient is multifactorial. Mm-hmm. You are losing them because you have a parasite or a fungus or some type of infection within that is robbing you of those nutrients. That's one aspect. Candida is an example, right?
Oh my God.
Mycotoxins, so mold in your body, and then parasites. Mm-hmm. And like a simple parasite is H. pylori. It's a bacteria that sits in your stomach and it creates an alkaline environment. So it has the ability to reduce your stomach acid. So if you don't have enough stomach acid to break down the food, then the food is you're not going to be able to absorb it because it's not being properly broken down. Stomach acid kills bacteria. Exogenous means outside bacteria that you're taking in. So your gut now is being contaminated with these microbes that it normally wouldn't get through if it was a safe environment or if it was an optimized environment.
So how do we get these parasites? Is it
like food sources, like environment. It's really all types of foods. So you could trace back mycotoxins even to meat, where like the cows are eating a grain that have a mycotoxin in it, and then it gets into their bodies, and now it's in the meat, and we eat the meat. So it comes from like grains and storage, right? Coffee, we hear a lot about mold toxicity there.
Wow.
Because they're sitting in damp, dark environments and they're not regulated and not taken care of properly. So it's the food that the animals are eating. It's also the fermenting or the spoilage of vegetables and fruits. So, right, when those start going bad, then the mold and those things start to show up and we're eating them. And then you have low stomach acid because we're always stressed. We're chronically stressed and tired, and you're not producing stomach acid in this tired, stressful state. But when you're making food, you're most likely ordering it to go, door dashing, or watching in front of a screen. So you're not warming your body up to eat and digest food, right? And you're probably not chewing enough on top of all that. And these are common deficiencies and dysfunctional behaviors that get so overlooked. Like the things that I say is like, okay, if you want to lean up, you got to chew more. A lot of my clients are like, whatever. And I'm like, lean people chew more because the digestive process of breaking food down through chewing, it takes more energy to break down that food. So if you want to get in the calorie equation, cool, but you're just breaking down food properly that way. You're also just warming your body up to be able to digest that food properly when it goes through the stomach and the small intestine.
Yeah, because we've talked about this before. It's about giving yourself the gift of food.
Yeah.
And realizing that it's a gift of energy and taking time to be in the present moment.
Conscious eating.
Yeah, and like appreciate what is coming into your body. And even if it's not maybe the best food, at least you've taken the time to prepare it say a quick prayer over it of like how it's going to affect your body, again, to your kind of whole thing that you live by with your mindset and your mentalism, right? Like, how is this going into me, and what's my intention of doing this?
I would just wanted to say, to get back to the being slim because you're taking the time to chew your food. I remember I was slimmer when I was younger because it took me forever to eat.
Yeah.
Like it took forever to eat. So I never finished anything.
That's another thing. Yes. So you're not scarfing this down. Yeah.
And when I went to law school, I was just eating fast. So
and it's the whole stress thing he's talking about too, right? Because you were
away. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're stressing your body out because it's not the food's not broken down. So it's got to work through more. And again, you're just introducing foreign bodies into your body, and that causes more stress. And so you accumulate this over decades, and now we call it perimenopause, and we call it hormone imbalance, and we call it low testosterone.
But it's really not.
Are you saying we can prevent these things if we just ate better?
Yeah.
And I believe what my journey is taking me here, and thanks to Justin, is like, I do believe that you can turn back some of this aging by understanding what's going on in your body. Like I've always been like, I liked things that raised my serotonin levels. Well, now I know why. I have like a serotonin issue. My body literally doesn't produce enough serotonin, and all of these different nutrients can play into all of that. Yeah. And so now I know it. So now I'm like not beating myself up anymore. Like, why am I always after something that brings me into serotonin, which is my cookie and all these things that I was doing? It's because my body doesn't, it metabolizes serotonin fast, and then it doesn't create enough. So I'm always looking for like something to uptick my serotonin.
Then there's like at the basis of every neurotransmitter is an amino acid. And so we churn through amino acids at different rates for each person. So biologically we're different, but this, like, take it to a spiritual level, and like somebody who's more fiery is going to be more dopamine driven. They're going to be, everybody has a strength in their neurotransmitter profile.
Oh, could you go through it? Do you know them all?
Yeah. So, I mean, the main four are dopamine, acetylcholine, serotonin, and GABA.
Okay. So which ones?
So most people are like balanced amongst all four.
Okay.
Right. But then they're imbalanced because of their nutrients and all the things that we just talked about. So dopamine is more of like your high octane risk takers, sales executives, like they live for the hunt type thing. That's a dopamine individual. Acetylcholine tend to be like your innovators. So very, very just into what's ahead, and very, like, I like to just say they're into the more advanced, like what's ahead and what's coming, and they like to be ahead of the curve. Serotonin is more of like the yoga type, like more laid back and just softer in that sense. Like yoga is a good example. And GABA is more of like the kind of like the coordinator, the general, the one who kind of sits behind the scene or kind of coordinates the whole group.
Yeah, like the organizer.
Yeah, the organizer. And I don't know offhand what their specific elements are. Like I know dopamine, and we're getting to Eastern philosophy or Eastern medicine, where it's dopamine is fire. Acetylcholine is wood, I believe. GABA is metal, and serotonin's water. I'm not 100% sure on those last two, but there's an element tied to those. And then you can start to go into your nutrition and all the preferences or the attributes of those elements. Yeah, and play into those attributes.
It's interesting because if I look at it from what you're saying, and I'll use myself again as an example, but if I know that I have low serotonin, so I'm always high on dopamine, right? And that drives a lot of my behaviors, and I'm looking for serotonin to even me out, but I can't get enough, and so I'm always looking for like the happy drug.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you eat the cookie, what does it do for you?
Yeah, it calms you down.
It calms me down. Yeah. Okay. Because it's giving me more like happiness.
She's running hot with the dopamine, and then needs something to chill it out.
Made you have energy, but okay, it had to calm you.
No, because you're always I didn't know this until I started talking to Justin and taking these tests and stuff, but it makes a lot of sense for why I've done the things I've done. And I've felt so bad about it because I'm like, how come I can't calm myself down? Like, why am I always running like 100 miles an hour, even when I know I don't have to? How come I can't be that yoga instructor? How come when I sit in yoga, I'm like the one that's like, I want to do something more, like give me a weight so I can like see if I can stand on one leg longer or whatever. Like now I'm finally realizing, okay, there's something like a nutrient deficiency.
Yeah, I was going to say, what can she do?
So like there's precursors to these neurotransmitters. So serotonin, I believe, is tryptophan.
Yeah.
So you can supplement with tryptophan, and this is why people get tired from turkey. Because the high tryptophan, and then it produces serotonin, which then gets you tired.
And
right?
ideally,
and that's better than a cookie.
Yes.
Right? Like and dosage is important too, because you could do too much and you just want to balance it out. So you take a little bit, right? Poultry has a high tryptophan.
And isn't it interesting that my MRT, my food results came back as I should be eating turkey?
Wow.
Interesting. So dopamine is tyrosine, right? So you take a high amount, like the amino acid has high tyrosine, and what happens is that your strength ends up actually being one of your weaknesses too, because you burn through it at a faster rate.
Yes.
Right. So if you're dopamine rich, it means you're also probably burning through dopamine and you're not getting enough of it.
Which is why I like L-tyrosine, right? Yeah, because it's like a stimulant and it helps me keep going.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
but does that affect her sleep then? Because I know some people are sensitive, like my husband's sensitive to caffeine. He'll drink it earlier in the day, but he can't drink it past 2 maybe, but I think it still affects him at sleeping. So I wonder about you with this high dopamine, and then does it affect sleep then later?
So it's no.
I think it used to, but now I'm taking the sleep builder and I sleep like a baby and I don't want to get up.
Glycine, it calms the nervous system down, and then you have theanine, which centers the mind or the brain. So now you're more of an alpha brainwave state. And you have glutamine, which produces more GABA, which is more of the synergizer of the brain. So it gets the left and right brain kind of synergized. So you're not so one-sided, you're more balanced. So you see how these all play a part, and you can use food as a drug. When you know what you're doing with supplements, you can be very tactical with these things.
Yeah.
And that's where the art and science of all this comes in, where its timing does matter, and dosage does matter, and quality does matter. And it's all those things. And this is where
these tests matter.
And these tests help you to apply it.
I could go on to Instagram and be like, okay, I need a mushroom supplement because my gut's all messed up or whatever. Okay, they sold me on that, right? Yeah. Well, then my test says don't eat mushrooms. Okay, well, shit, I probably shouldn't be eating that.
Exactly.
So it's like all these things. That's why it's like we're all unique little snowflakes, and we've got to get in touch with stop doing the I'm not saying, okay, I'm not a doctor. So all I'm saying is look more into what you're made of and how your vehicle is supposed to work, because everybody's different. What works for Michelle or Justin is not going to work for me. Yeah.
And it's the knowing what's going on allows you to take action and with more certainty, which then by that nature, taking more action with certainty produces more results. So you're more willing to invest into your health, into supplements, into your well-being.
And we have to realize, because I was investing in supplements and they weren't doing anything. So they have to be high quality. And who's better to know that than Justin, right? So high quality supplements, talk to someone that knows, and don't just go buy it in the store because it doesn't work.
Yeah, it sounds like a sales pitch where it's like, buy supplements only from these brands. But the truth of the matter is there was a study done in Amazon, supplements on Amazon. It was like something like 90%, 80 to 90% of the supplements out there didn't have the ingredients that were actually saying what they had on them, even if they were reputable brands.
Well, because they're not FDA, they don't have any regulations.
And it's just, so it's like buying your supplements from Amazon. If you're getting trying to get any like quality ingredients, you just like a protein shake, multivitamins, omega-3s, all these different fruits and greens supplements. Like I don't recommend getting any of those from
It's throwing your money
Amazon.
away.
Yeah. And you're just trying to be cheap about it, and you're going to get cheap results as a result.
So what do you think of like a lot of functional doctors use full script? do you think you still get ripped off on that site?
I'm not familiar with
because
that site.
they do like it's like a more bioavailable, like Thorn, Design for Health. Like those.
Yeah, those are pharmaceutically graded companies like Designs for Health, ATP Labs, Nutridyne, Spoken. These are all brands and companies that have done their due diligence, and they cost more because they do the homework and they do the work. It's like any supplement takes processing to get it to where it is. Right. So you want to make sure that they're using clean product, that they have the systems in place to make sure it's consistent and it's giving you the nutrients that you need. And then moreover, they're not putting money into their marketing budget. They're putting money into the research behind these products.
Interesting.
So it's
so they're building partnerships with like functional doctors and stuff. They're not on Instagram saying, hey, come and.
Yes, exactly.
All over TV with
the big
commercial.
Yeah.
The big thing with Instagram, and you've all sent me some things like, hey, check out this thing. What does it look like? And I get clients doing it all the time. And I look at the dosage and I'm like, it's just checking off a box. Yeah. Acetylcholine is great, but it's not going to, if you're getting it at a low dose, it's not going to give you the benefit that you need. Theanine is great, but it's not going to calm your brain if you're only getting 50 milligrams of it.
Right.
Like you need to take a therapeutic dose to get a therapeutic response. And so that's where the dosage is just as important. But if you're taking you're unsure of the quality, now you're exposing yourself to possibly a contaminated
like metals,
product,
different things
that can cause you stress. I had one client, I was putting her on a high dose of glutamine.
Okay.
And that was for gut health, carbohydrate, managing carb cravings, and balancing out her neurotransmitters. And she didn't go with the recommended product that I gave her. She went out to like Vitamin Shop to go grab glutamine.
Yeah.
And she responded back to me the next day and goes, I'm feeling sick, like nauseous, like what's going on? And I go, what'd you take? And she showed me the glutamine, and I'm like, you bought it from a store. This is why I recommended this product, this brand, because I know they're clean. I know what they're doing. And yeah, they're partnered with functional medicine experts, people who are in the trenches doing the research and using their products for therapeutic purposes. And these things are meant to heal, but they've gotten so tainted. And there's so much products out there being marketed that it just makes it confusing.
It does. It makes it so
frustrating.
And for the listeners, I think, you have to find somebody that you can partner with to see the whole picture. And even when you're on the supplements and they are pharmaceutical grade, they still need to be getting testing, because some of these things, for example, even vitamin D, when you start taking really good vitamin D with a K and a magnesium and how you're supposed to take it, you can actually raise your vitamin D levels too high. And so it's like all of these things need to be continuously tested in your blood, urine, saliva, whatever the right way to find out what your levels are, so that you can continue to have that optimal amount of health. I mean, in the future, I see it as like we have some kind of something that we wear that can show us all these things. So we know like, okay, today we're low in dopamine or high in serotonin or whatever. Like, what do we need to do for the day? I mean, that's the beauty of where like technology like AI and stuff can take us if we use it for love and light.
Yeah.
The true place where I see things kind of going back to, and it's not like one or the other. It's like integrating nature within the science, because it's all there. Like we have the mechanisms where we don't need to think about all this. We just need to get back to nature and balanced light exposure. And we're going to look back at this, whether it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now, or 50 years from now, and look at, I can't believe we exposed ourselves to these electronics the way we did. The wireless technology, the EMFs, and the blue light that we're exposed to. Like there's protective barriers that we can use and hold and take advantage of. And it's something that is neglected or kind of just passed off as Stan Efferdine says, most people are skipping past $100 bills and picking up pennies and nickels.
Yep.
And they think that these supplements are going to fix them, but unless you get dialed in, like you said, like with lab testing helps to identify a lot of the issues that you can get highly targeted so that you actually feel the benefit of what you're taking. getting back to our original point of size 2 to 22, what's the difference? And it's you're healing your body, you're gaining back and retaining more energy. So as a result to that, you're able to do more of things that are in alignment with you so you can live more fulfilling life. And then that's how health creates and generates more wealth.
And then to leave it with this, it's how you feel. And you actually feel really good. And your body then goes to whatever size is just perfect for you.
So pay attention to how you feel. Like really pay attention. Do you need to drink a lot of coffee? Do you feel tired?